Welcome everyone to Ring the Bell. This is Diaz.
And the new War Women's Champion, Queen of War, Paloma Star!
Ooh, we got to roll the R and
Yeah.
Honored being introduced by the one and only Sarah Shockey.
Looking great.
Thank you, I tried really hard.
We just filmed our awards video.
And I'm the only one that didn't bring an outfit change.
Let's go right into the go-home show for the TLC. Right into SmackDown.
I'm gonna put my belt down because it's so heavy. Oh my gosh.
This gold is
Real
weighing me
gold.
down.
Bling bling, the real diamonds.
There you go. Here.
Ladies and gentlemen, your War Women's Champion, DS.
You gonna challenge me for it?
Anyway, we saw a return match for Alexa Bliss, and Alexa Bliss was full-blown face in this match.
I like the floating air of a sweet Alexa Bliss having a nice friendship with her friend Nikki Cross.
Good feeling.
It feels like a wholesome friendship, but I also don't fully trust Alexa Bliss. It's been too many years of getting burned, too many promises that end in her dumping coffee or saying something snarky. Earn it, Alexa. Earn our trust.
I actually hope Nikki Cross is the one that turns on Alexa because, like you said, Alexa's always that mean girl that ends up turning on her friend. So come on, Nikki Cross, then strike first.
You mean Nikki Double Cross?
Ooh, I love that.
Oh my gosh, I hope they use that.
It's free. You can have it.
Alexa did show some really nice face moves. That DDT didn't flow completely right, but it was fresh, as she's definitely coming up with new moves to match her face character vibes.
It's also going to be hard to be kicking off the ring rust and then also being like, you know what, I'm going to try some brand spanking new stuff. Power and respect to you, Alexa Bliss.
Especially because she's been hurt so often this year, I feel
true.
like. So it's almost like coming back from an injury, going back into the ring, it's almost you're a little bit like second guessing yourself, especially if you got injured specifically off of one move. It kind of like do I want to go do that move again? So it's kind of cool for her trying out new moves because I do think her moveset is a little bit face-ish since it's a little bit flashier. So it's cool to her add even more.
She did show us a lot of training videos on her Instagram. She's doing crazy flashy stuff. Like she's jumping like twice and all that. So I want to kind of see that in the ring. There's a potential that she's showing us. And I'm in for this Alexa Bliss face run.
I hope so too, because I was really behind her being a heel, so I really hope she can deliver being a face as well.
Charisma's charisma, baby.
And the moment that I really love this match is when that eyelash spot happened.
Okay, on commentary, like, oh, so embarrassing to reveal. I'm like, every woman on your roster wears fake eyelashes, and you're gonna act like, oh, just Alexa? I was like, nah. We're revealing that there is a whole side of women's wrestling that involves a lot of eyelashes, and there's nothing to be ashamed of.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Alexa was smiling brightly. Let's do it right now.
I do want to point out that when I wrestled Joey Mayberry, he did take off my eyelash. So.
First.
This really reminded me of Victoria's classic spot where she used to bite off people's nail.
Yeah.
Jeez!
This is a classic diva spot, so I'm loving that it's back. Mandy Rose was really...
She always loses. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but her and Sonya and them two as a tag team are like... have been on a forever losing streak.
Yeah.
It's one of those hard things, though. Like, if you are a good, reliable wrestler and you're not specifically getting the push, you're going to get put in to make the other person look good. So it's not necessarily like a knock on her style. It's maybe that she's reliable enough that they can count on her to lose convincingly.
True.
Which is like a bummer, but also like a lot of great people started like that and then shot their way to the top. So
I love this positive energy.
Nice.
I love it.
positive.
I love the little bliss fit that Alexa Bliss was having when she was like being beaten down. She was like, very Brie mode, and I think I'm into it.
Bliss fit.
I'm loving it. I'm getting major Trish vibes, so we'll be the right song for this.
Unfortunately, all I'm thinking of is that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer song that's like, why am I such a bliss fit? Why am I such a bliss fit? It's not the right song, but it's the only one I have.
Let's move to the next match. It is Lacey Evans versus a local competitor.
That local competitor was a lion trainer.
She was.
I was like, give me more about her. Like, get out of the way, Lacey.
Totally. At first I was like, what is she wearing? But then they legit said like she was a lion tamer. And I'm like, Oh.
I wanted a cutaway and a mini documentary about the Lions and then cut back and it's like, yeah, of course she's losing, but what a journey we had along the way.
I just was really wondering, like, is that legit what her gimmick is in the indies? It would be awesome to see if that's just like what she had or did they throw that on her? Because she didn't even have like wrestling boots. She had like legit just boots. Like,
Well, Lacey better watch out because she's coming back with Lions. And then we saw Sasha Banks come out with that cool new music.
Her music is very cool.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's like a perfect thank you to the old, hello to the new.
Yeah.
It's a very long intro.
It
so,
is.
so she just has to kind of like... And then start talking.
Yeah. This was one of those scenarios where both promos had enough little fudge moments where you just had to be like, I didn't say the wrong word and I'm going to propel forward. And they both had a couple of those where I'm always like, celebs, they're just like us.
I didn't even notice because this promo was so good, I thought.
Because I'm a performer, so I'm always looking for those little tells of like, she was a little nervous there. And I feel like there
Got
are a couple
it.
times where I was like, they care so much that there's a little bit of stumbling, but at the same time, that can also represent the heart and soul of like,
Got
I
it.
mean this so much that I can't be bothered to enunciate every word crisply.
It also makes it seem a little bit more, I'm not reading off the script page, you know? Like
Yeah,
a little
it
bit
felt
more
raw.
genuine.
Lacey finally made that turn into fully embracing the Americana.
I'm a
the-
Marine.
the Marine background. She's a mother.
But she's also doing a lot of the same things that she did when she was fully being
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
heel. So it's this interesting combination where it's like she's trolling the heels, but also she has better points about like, yeah, I've been trained. Like, I care about honor. I care about my child. And then what do you have? It's like, oh, Lacey, good points.
That's an easy, almost like go-to place to mention people's like daughters or family and stuff, which is kind of like cheapy or the low-hanging fruit. I'm kind of interested to see where they're going with this because I don't think you see it a lot being done in women. You see it happen all the time in men's storylines, you know?
And when will her daughter come and help her fight Brock Lesnar?
Sasha actually posted her taking photo with Lacey's daughter.
Wow, that's a great move.
I love Sasha. I think she just sits down and think about all the creative things she'll do. Like I love it.
And she's all over. It's not just when she's on TV. Like, she's trolling on social media.
Yeah.
She's posting fun pictures. Every now and then someone will say something dumb to her, and her clapback is always just like, you go, Sasha, you got him.
Sasha Banks was scared of women's rights, so Lacey was walking back, and then Bailey, shabam!
Out of nowhere. So I really, really, really love this hit from behind that Bailey did. She completely like demolished Lacey. If that could be like Hope Bailey's like new gimmick or signature of hitting people from behind, I'm in for it.
I'm
Because
still
that was
waiting.
awesome.
I want her to finish the job and shave a full half of her hair. I think she would look so cool,
That would
and
be
I'm
really
like waiting
cool.
for it. The more heely she gets, the more there's like this fire of like, oh, she's really letting out all the rage of how people mistreated her and like how she hasn't gotten to really like, she's on top, but she's always having to fight for it, even
Yeah.
when she's got the belt. So it's like, yeah, go from behind.
I wasn't very sure about this Bailey and Sasha friendship. It's real, but I want Bailey to shine on her own. That's why I wanted that to not go on. But I kind of like this chemistry right now. Like Sasha is the trickster, and Bailey's the one that's gonna like.
Yeah.
When I
hit
think
you.
the two of them too, it's one of those like they've got the natural chemistry. So it's like we've got these arcs of friendship where it's like pure, beautiful, supportive friendship, and then this like sneaky, I've got my motivations, you've got yours, and then it's like, hey, maybe someday they're gonna need each other and they're gonna need to survive a weekend in the wilderness together. We don't know.
One of my favorite segments ever when Sasha Banks was like,
I love you.
WWE occasionally teases these like sweet like girl romances,
Yeah.
and then they always are like, just kidding, and I'm
Yeah.
like, but what if?
let's move to Raw. Most important thing, Liv Morgan is having a makeover.
Just announced. I am having Tennille flashbacks.
Yes.
Emelina.
Yeah.
Don't worry, she's coming soon. And it was like freaking, it felt like 2.5 years of these promos, and then she came out one night and then they were like, never mind. So I'm always like wary of these new like get ready, because I've been burned before by WWE.
True.
I trust Liv, but I just hope that they let Liv live. I want to see
Yes.
who she is.
Liv, last time she had that match with Charlotte Flair, I was really into it. Did you see? So she talked, I think it was like SmackDown Town Hall or something. She talked for like briefly, and she was back, kind of like sobbing because she like finally got to talk.
Really?
Yeah, I love Liv Morgan.
Now, I've seen Liv Morgan. This is like such a baller move. We were at this club. There's this wrestling show in Orlando, and she just popped behind the bar and made herself a drink. And I was like, girl, yes.
I like her.
What if she comes back and she looks exactly the same?
That would be really funny.
That's the gag.
Also, it's kind of like weird too. This is just me being my usual skeptic self on how they're using like a makeover. Like, would they use that if it was a guy returning? Like, oh, and now for Kofi Kingston's makeover. I don't know. I get why they're doing it, but it's just still like me being.
It would be better if they were like, it's the new Liv.
Yeah.
Because I could see them doing like the new Rusev, but makeover implies like, well, she's a beautiful thing that needs to be dolled up, and then you can see her again.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's old.
Maybe WWE's trying to like twist it because it has like eyelash on that logo and everything, but maybe WWE can like completely 180 twist it, so that could be a shock. People are really, really interested because she's been teasing it this whole time on social media.
She's done the work of being like, cutting my hair, and you're like, oh, like how?
She definitely has the fans engaged to see what she is gonna look like and what her character is gonna be. So I guess it's working.
I hope WWE does it right. Air those things that Liv Morgan already filmed. They were all amazing. Let's talk about Becky Lynch versus Kabuki Warriors.
Dun, dun, dun.
The Kabuki Warriors did such a fun like dance thing at the end of their match.
Like, I don't know. It was just a cute little that's what Asuka was doing, and Kyrie was like,
Has anybody watched Asuka's vlog on YouTube?
no.
Her channel?
I heard it was good though. That was super
so
cute.
Good. She and Kikutaro went through the grocery store and bought all the things to make a stew, and they made it outside on a little camper fire that she had set up. One of the greatest vlogs I've ever seen in my life.
I love watching anything with Kikutaro, so
this match, again, Kabuki Warrior is just excelling in this handicap matches.
And just like this new fight, especially with Kyrie, it's like, like that extra kick she got in on Charlotte. I know I'm jumping around, but like she's just got this like brutal energy that's very intoxicating. She was one of my favorites when she was a face. Still one of my favorites.
going back to what you said about Kyrie, that end with her insane elbow through the table, that was insane. And she's going through the table too. I thought she was gonna sell it a little bit more. She's like, no, I'm cool. I'm a badass. I just put you through a table. But I also want to point out, like, I feel like anything you can do, I could do better between Charlotte and Becky, because Charlotte just had this amazing match with them last week, and now Becky's having this amazing match with them this week too.
One thing that I was worried about this match being built is that I was scared that they're almost using Kabuki Warriors as object to build Becky and Charlotte's storyline. From what I've seen today, at least, Kabuki Warrior was very threatening and they did their part, so I'm not too worried. I just don't want them to drop the belt.
I think the storyline that I'm looking for and that I'm excited to see is the Kabuki Warriors present this unified front, these two that are completely in tandem, so good together, whereas like we know that Becky and Charlotte are really good on their own, but they're a reluctant matchup. They never feel like they want to be together, and it's like, can you take that individual energy and combine it for the greater good, or are the Kabuki Warriors just better?
I did not like, though, how they still had to make sure that Becky looked the strongest and was on top. So I know Becky won, and it was by DQ. Yet last week, they beat Charlotte clean. So
True.
I feel like that's another little jab and a little, like, nod to, like, Becky's the golden girl. We can't touch her.
That's one thing that I did not like, too, because there was a really good story that they're building that Asuka was continuously beating Becky Lynch since Royal Rumble in January. So I thought they were continuing that storyline, but finally she lost with DQ, so it's like kind of not really a loss.
It's questionable. There's a building fire, though.
It's kind of like you could kind of see what regard they hold each of the champions, because they're not treating or protecting Bayley like this. You know, like Bayley lost that triple threat match last time, and Bayley has lost a couple times, and she's a champion. But I feel like Becky being champion, she's always protected and held at a higher standard and bigger pedestals. It almost takes away a little bit to me of the man charm, because you know, being the man was like fighting from behind and being this
not
awesome
being
badass.
supported.
Exactly. And now that she is supported, now that she is on top and being so long, it's kind kind of losing that like grrr.
We want the Rebecca back.
Right.
Rebecca Quinn.
Screenplay writer, actress, wrestler, come back.
Did we love how many segments they had?
They had a lot
We
of
kept being
segments.
like, ooh, another one. Ooh, another. It was like finding Easter eggs in the yard.
I did like the visual of first Becky sitting on the trainer's table, and then the next segment it was Becky and Charlotte sitting there.
That was cute.
Here we are again. Look at us. I really wish they would have gone.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I really like the last scene when they're like, TLC, let's f them up. You loved that interview with
I
Kayla.
loved it. Totally.
Okay, I'm beginning to realize I need to learn some more languages around here.
Love that she acknowledged the fact that she keeps on interviewing people that are speaking different languages. And she's like, well, clearly I need to learn more languages. And how even Sarah pointed out, it's like, oh, she's not blaming it on them. She's taking it on her own. So I thought that was just a cute little thing because I'm a person who speaks a different language so many times. And also the intensity that Kabuki Warriors have when they're cutting a promo in Japanese is so cool.
Because you get to really hear like, oh, yes, that's... and then to be able to translate that into English is very impressive. And it's just, I don't think they get enough credit.
So many segments on Raw today, so yay.
It's literally a go-home show that they finally started to build story, but they did. And I am excited for TLC match.
Tables,
Ladders,
chairs.
That was great. That was very on point.
Oh, by the way, if you're interested in the history of women and TLC, we have a new series that just debuted yesterday.
I saw.
It's with Jake Smith from the Bella Twins Pep Rally, popular Diva Dirt reporter. He joined Ring the Bell recently to have this new show called Golden Memories. He did the first episode about table, ladders, and chair, and all the history regarding women. He did leave out Queen of Extreme, which angered a lot of the fans.
That's who I think of first when you think of like TLC or like Extreme. I mean, come on, she was in Team Extreme. Like, she was the like, first like extreme lady woman out there. But I mean, you know, I'm never gonna be like, oh, you left out this person, because it's everybody's opinion. And you guys, that's okay.
It's a pilot episode. Be nice. Be nice. Also, 2019 Women's Wrestling Fan Awards now open with Square Circle Sirens, so go down. The link will be in the description and vote for the rightful winner of each category. What language do you speak? Other than...
I only fake speak a little bit of Spanish.
Can you speak like Australian accent?
Oh, I can do any kind of accent. That's my favorite.
We're gonna talk about our social media, you in accent, and we're gonna do it in Korean. Yeah.
You can find me over at Sarah Joy Shockey on Twitter or over on Marty Sarapod if we're going to switch to British. Or we could do a bit of Scottish and say at Marty Sarapod over on Instagram.
제 인스타그램은 DS신에서 찾아보시면 됩니다.
Y conmigo me pueden hallar en Instagram y Twitter at Paloma Star. Y yo soy la reina y la campeona de War. So,
Yeah! Alright, see you next week. Bye!